Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. All protocols observed. I want to first of all thank Dr. Evans and the entire team of Digital Africa for putting this show together and for giving me the podium to speak for the first time outside of the oil and gas domain. I also hope this event will someday become bigger than Las Vegas CES conference, thereby stimulating a new technology renaissance in Africa. Today, I am speaking on the role of artificial intelligence and machine learning technology in upstream petroleum business. There is the outline of my presentation. I will start by setting the scene, laying some grounding definitions for those participants who are not technology or upstream savvy, but before delving into the main subject of the day. Petrosmart is an indigenous oil services company with its extensive operator and service company experience and a deeply rooted local presence. We are involved in aspects and investment management. We also do project management. Just like our name suggests, we provide smart technologies to the E&P and upstream industry, leveraging our strategic OEM partners, and we do consulting as well. Our mission is excellence through strategic partnership. AI, artificial intelligence, is making our lives more comfortable, more profitable, and fast. But where is upstream and mining in all of these? Exploration and production, that's what we call E&P, is split into the upstream, the midstream, and the downstream. The goal of the E&P value chain is to produce, convert, and deliver energy to end users. 75% of Nigeria's revenue actually comes from oil production. So we're actually going to be focusing on the upstream sector today. Everything that has to do with the extraction of the oil from the ground, its development, its production, all the way to the pipeline to the terminal that you can see here. Right. A brief introduction. I think I've spent about 30 years in the E&P business, which is almost my entire career. And I must say that it's time for the upstream petroleum business to embrace the amazing capabilities inherent in the AI technology. AI can help governments and E&P companies tackle their most challenging problems. The difference is night and day between the cognitive power of machine learning over the conventional seismic interpretation or even the numerical reform model that we have today. So in my view, AI is not really intended to replace the E&P expertise, but to make petroleum engineers and geoscientists smarter and businesses more profitable. So let me define the artificial intelligence, for novices like myself. This is the ability of digital computer or robots to perform general tasks that are commonly associated with human beings, such as reasoning, learning, problem solving, perception, and language. Artificial intelligence can be categorized into artificial general intelligence, which is somewhat futuristic, as you can imagine with the sci-fi movie. And then the artificial narrow intelligence, AI, which is more available today in carrying out specific narrow tasks. So sometimes I get confused, between artificial intelligence and machine learning. But let me try to explain a little bit. Machine learning is an AI, and it presents one of the precursors to creating a narrow AI that can be used to play chess, for example, or solve mathematical equations, enhance computer search engines, or even voice recognition. It can also be used sometimes in medical diagnosis, as we know. So, what is digital transformation? Digital transformation is actually all about providing solutions that can massively increase the value of your enterprise by unlocking the transformative power of your data, which can be used to maximize reserves, increase production, and reduce costs. So how can we apply AI in the upstream petroleum business? Well, in some areas, it's actually being applied today. So when we look at the three spheres of the E&P business, or rather the upstream business, the exploration and development sector, or the domain, we see drilling activities employing AI to optimize drilling performance, such as well control, prediction, and optimization of rate of penetration and so on. This is widely used globally. And but we are yet to see AI playing a role in reducing the uncertainty inherent in prospects during seismic interpretation, whether it's technical or commercial. We also have, under production and engineering, today we can see AI becoming available to operators for enhancing production efficiency, maximizing recovery, and reducing costs. Okay, we're yet to see AI actually being applied to maximize recovery and control water production in what's in so-called smart wells. That can be the future, actually. And then under transportation and distribution, surface AI solutions today are now available for smarter real-time crude oil back allocation and leak detection. The graph below depicts illustrates Nigeria's drilling performance from 1998 to 2015, extracted from oil and gas report of April 2021. And it shows on the right, you can see the red line there, showing the declining, drilling performance, okay, with the fluctuating oil price. But one thing of note there is the cost of drilling, which is rising exponentially since the last 15 years in Nigeria. Now, this is prohibitive, and something needs to be done about it. We can actually leverage available AI tools today to begin to arrest this increase in cost and the drilling. So how can AI be applied to address or tackle operators' challenges? We can implement this in improving economic performance, when and where to act, increasing our reserves and production. We can implement this in predicting the future. Existing models, conventional models today are quite expensive. A lot of expertise is required, and also a lot of special infrastructure is required. And in many cases, we do not have complete data. We can also implement it in leveraging the existing data, historical data. How do we extract value from this enormous data that we have in oil and gas acquired over the last 50 years? And what new data do we really need to focus on acquiring, and how to integrate this data? So, on the Nigerian stage, Nigeria's E&P challenges range from reducing operating costs and sabotage. Today, Nigeria is spending about $27 to $35 to produce a barrel of oil. And we have seen in 2018, there was about 1,894 pipelines strikes, disrupting production. Okay, we can also see that Nigeria's oil for water production is excessive. In the middle, you can see a graph showing what the E&P companies in Nigeria, the major oil companies, are producing at an average of 50% water. That's about 1.2 million barrels of water being produced today with 2 million barrels of oil. And that's a lot. I mean, that's actually more than that. I think it's probably more than that. And it's now, normal to actually call these companies water companies as opposed to oil companies when you look at the amount of water being produced. We can also, implement AI, increasing production and ultimate recovery, in Nigeria. Current oil production in Nigeria is 2 million barrels, mainly from primary recovery methods. It will take Nigeria about 50 years to deplete these 7 billion barrels at this rate. And this is not, we don't have that time. The time is not there considering the energy transition. So, Petrosmart, with each strategic OEM alliance, Aqueon, is providing solutions that can combine data physics and artificial intelligence to optimize energy production and recovery. There is a range of 10 suites that are available today in our portfolio. And the coloration and numbering here shows their technology readiness levels, showing that most of these technologies are actually available and being tested and running and providing value to operators. So ranging from surface and subsurface back allocation, Waterflood management and optimization, decline curve analysis, cyclic steel injection, CO2 injection, fracking, and so on. Today, we have developed a phenomenal package called the AI-based surface leak and theft detection, which can help in covering most of the challenges we face in upstream. So, here are three spheres or domains of production in upstream. The production market space is split between the primary, the secondary, and the tertiary recovery. Now, the primary recovery, we know that we can implement technology there to raise production recovery from 10 to 35%. And in the secondary space, we can actually raise recovery, increase recovery from 35 to 55%. And technology can also enable us to increase recovery in the tertiary from 55 to 75%. At the moment, we are mostly playing in Nigeria, we're mostly playing within the primary recovery regime. Just a little bit, a little tiny bit in the second. And on the right, you can see the offerings we have today. We have offerings to address each of these domains. So, Aqueon has also been able to implement or integrate data physics and machine learning in optimizing reservoir models. The data physics technology is a proprietary blend of machine learning physics and physics-based reservoir modeling and advanced optimization techniques. This breakthrough technology allows models to be built in weeks and simulations to be run in minutes, fundamentally altering the way decisions are made. And how does this work? There is a simple workflow. We start by combining, assimilating all the data available in our workspace. The log data, the pump data, the production data, and even the seismic data, all what we know about the field in terms of our database. And then be able to define some prescriptive equations, not to solve them, just prescriptive equations such as the differential partial differential equation, Darcy's equation, continuity, moment, mass balance, and things like the unit equation. So the machine will be learning this and trying to describe the reservoir on its own over time. And once this is done, you can now make predictions and even optimize your performance. So machine learning makes it possible to achieve full fit prediction models, which is quite unconventional. So you can see here how we are able to fit the entire history, pretty much well and predict well. Conventional models are very weak in the early time, forecast, because we need a lot of data for years to be able to model it properly and be able to use the market. And they're also poor in making accurate long-term predictions. But with machine learning, we can actually improve on this. Aqueon provides a solution called Aqueon. This is available for secondary recovery, say by Waterflood. So conventional models, as we see today, the conventional predictive model can sometimes take months and years to build. Running scenarios take several hours or days, and this is not routinely used in making fast operational decisions. But with our Aqueon solution, we can create models in days, run simulations in minutes, and make operational decisions supported by full data physics and predictive models. Now, there's one feature that is quite phenomenal in this approach, okay? The Pareto front. It affords operators, we're able to give operators some kind of medical prescription, if you will, that gives you a trend line like that, called the Pareto front, along which you can optimize your performance. So say you are at the current scenario at the bottom right corner. You have the opportunity to spin upwards to increase your revenue at the expense of cost, or spin horizontally to increase your expense and reduce your expenditure by reducing your water injection on this project. Okay? So but once you are along the Pareto front line, you are actually optimizing your performance. So you know where you are, you define a roadmap, and it helps us to create some prescription along those blue and the green line dots, with which you can optimize. Say for example, in the middle point, you see a point there where we define as an optimal point where you can reduce expenditure by 20% while increasing recovery to over 10%. So less can be more. And we can use this, we have used this or implemented this rather in Argentina, Patagonia project. During the Waterflood optimization, Subsurface was able to add value on this project by increasing recovery to 11%. How did it happen? So the yellow trend there shows that without this application of AI, the Waterflood project was going to continue in trend, as you can see extrapolated along the yellow straight line. But with this prescriptive, prescription from our model, we have given some date and time of events that the operator can implement, as you can see on the top brown graph there, showing water injection and the plan, with which we were able to improve recovery. You can see how we were able to arrest the decline of oil production in the field, thereby increasing recovery by 11%. That's significant. Again, most of our upstream business, the challenge for most operators is how to predict or forecast their annual production, okay, ahead of time. And in many cases, they are faced to define their 5-year production plan. So every 5-year business plan for E&P upstream business starts with production targets. And this is carried out using decline curve analysis. Prediction using conventional decline curve analysis is based on simple extrapolation of the last known trend, trace of data, okay, which is prone to major errors due to the dynamic events that occur from time to time. So we end up missing the history of those events and the changing fluid composition and also changing reservoir conditions. So we're not able to capture all this. So I can see from the trends on the left-hand side, depending on where you are in the history, your predictions are likely to be wrong. With our AI, with our probabilistic decline curve analysis tool, we can be able to train this really quickly in the field life with history and be able to capture the behavior of this well and combine this in a kind of supposition style to yield very smarter predictions and also predict events as we can define maintenance events and stuff like that. We also have subsurface production allocation too. Commingling production in upstream presents a unique challenge for E&P companies because of the need to account for oil recovery layer by layer in the reservoir and account for that. Now, this is important. Okay? But today, our subsurface back allocation tool provides precise and continuous dynamic fuel allocation all the way to the individual layer, thus enabling E&P companies to commingle production from various layers. We have also developed a surface back allocation tool, which now has the capability for leak and theft detection. So TACU's back allocation tool continuously calculates daily oil, water, and gas rates at every injector or node in the production network, and was able to match this to the available data as we stream them along and the terminal production. So the new improved capability of our back allocation tool can detect and locate leak or theft anywhere in the production network and nodes in real time. It can also detect the leak rate and back allocate this leak or theft volumes to the affected injector smart. Okay, so take a look. Here is the depiction, a table extracted from the E&P report of 2015. It shows some, Nigerian pipeline challenge today. Nigeria produced in that year 324 million barrels of oil reported, out of which, 5.53 of them were lost. So about 17% of Nigeria's production has been lost to theft and sabotage in 2018. So, and Nigeria suffered 1894, that is 1,894 destructions that year, translating to more than 5 strikes per day. So, give or take, this is about 145,000 barrels of oil per day being lost. In 2020, we saw an increment in this to 200,000 barrels of oil per day, which at $70 a barrel, is equivalent to about $5 billion. $5 billion. So, and we all know that detection of leaks and remediation can usually take 5 or even more days depending on the terrain. And reducing it to 1 day will cut out 66% of the loss we are seeing today, meaning about over $3 billion in savings. Thereby saving irreversible damage to the environment and protecting the reputation of the government and the operators, among other factors. There is a cartoon of the Lembe Creek trunk line. This is one of the major trunk lines in Nigeria. They literally move all the way from one part of the country, Lembe Creek, to the other part of the country, Share Bonny Canada. So as complex as this may seem as a network, our back allocation and theft detection technology is able to detect leaks wherever it occurs and detect theft wherever it occurs in real time. Okay, and we're able to identify which one it is and the rate of leakage, and back allocate this to the respective offended parties or affected parties. So as a justification of AI technology will enable us operators to minimize unpredictable losses and surge in strikes over their production pipeline, reduce the deployment of oil recovery resulting from production downtime, and also reduce operating costs, whether it's maintenance costs, export handling costs, site remediation, surveillance, and costs associated with security. So a swift action will bring significant results, as you can see. Every month we're losing about $425 million from sabotage and leaks. So to the project, it means increased production and reduced costs and safer operations. To the investors, this will mean increasing profit, improved performance in terms of dollars per barrel, and attracting more companies. To the company, it means reducing costs, reducing pollution, and improving our ESG or CSR engagement. And to the government, this will translate to more royalty income, more tax income, and improved public image. There is the global presence today of status where operators are using and leveraging these production AI technologies from status. You can see that Africa and it's actually blank there with Australia. So in summary, the takeaway is as follows: that artificial intelligence and machine learning technology has the potential to disrupt the upstream business, okay, by providing powerful tools that can leverage big data to make big predictions with a precision that was previously impossible. The application of data physics in AI models are orders of magnitude faster than conventional simulation models, thus allowing large-scale quantitative optimization, and this can be carried out rather quickly and easily. Petrosmart packaged AI solutions can be embraced as a proven technology today, which is creating value for operators around the world. Our AI solutions have demonstrated full life cycle value during primary, secondary, and tertiary recovery, from modeling, predictions, optimization, and even look-back scenario analysis. Successful digital transformation in Africa will hinge on diversification of oil field activities as they occur, which eventually can power a one data integration initiative, thereby saving costs and maximizing our recovery in this era of energy transition. And finally, with the power of AI ML technology, African operators can now begin to tackle major problems associated with production and recovery of oil, such as leaks and sabotage in crude oil and product pipelines, thereby leveraging existing data without installing anything or any more gadgets. Pacius has 11 patents in this area, in this production space. We have published over 15 papers, SE papers, and has over 20 customers around the world enjoying the benefit from these tools. Pacius has optimized more than 20,000 wells worldwide. So Petrosmart services are split into 4 domain areas. Petrosmart is involved in consulting and project management. We call it Petrosmart Consult, where we carry out things like asset management, project management, asset retirement obligation, or what we know as abandonment, valuation and M&A services, and so on. We also have Petrosmart Well Services, powered by Asset and Expo. There we carry out what artificial lift, such as weedless ESP, well testing and EPF, and so on. And Western Petroleum Management and Pantera powers the consulting Petrosmart Consult. Petrosmart is equally involved in process and EPC solutions, where we carry out system separation, powered by Esteran, and fluid flow analyzers powered by Northern. And that we call Face Smart projects. And of course, under the AI side, we have the diagnostics and planning powered by practice. Our strategic OEM partner here, delivering solutions as required. That is the end of my presentation, and I hope it was rewarding to attend. Thank you. I can now ready to